So recently we watched an interview where Bebe was calling Bobi Wine a young boy. I mean, and I quote, the boy that he raised. What do you have to say about that?
You know, in life, it is okay for someone to be better than their parents, right? Any parent will be smiling to see a son or a daughter doing better than they did, you get, especially in their young age. So if Baby Cool is taking himself as a guardian of Bobi Wine, actually he should instead be happy that a boy he raised is doing well, is talking about national issues, you understand. But that one, I don't think it is entirely true. Bobi Wine is not a boy, and when he makes such statements, I mean, Bebe cool, we should think so hard. When these three guys were starting their music career, we had a one called Bobi Wine. It becomes stronger and stronger as it grows. You understand? A chameleon will know that animal, that reptile, that it changes colors according to environment, and we can see chameleon is trying to portray that. You don't see him in one color, you understand. So what does the word Bebe means in this case? Maybe you got it from somewhere, maybe it's Jamaica, maybe it's Swahili, we don't know. You should ask him what were his ambition, and I think that one will leave it to people to judge him.
But I think he meant like Bobi Wine is a young boy, maybe he should not engage in Ugandan politics.
I think Bobi Wine, Mr. Honorable Chagulanyi Sentam Robert, he is 38 years old. By constitution of Uganda, he is allowed because he's a citizen by birth, and his origin is Ugandan, so he does qualify because everything, even his academic documents, were verified, and we agreed that a guy has the minimum academic requirements. That shouldn't be the case. I think what Bebe Cool is suffering from, and the people who are like him, I guess there is a psychological disease called Stockholm syndrome, literally meaning that people are subjected to bad situation, bad conditions of life, and they normalize them. They feel like, okay, it's okay. So what Bebe Cool is suffering from is that Stockholm syndrome, that for him in his mind it feels like staying a supporter of someone else, it is okay, you understand. Staying loyal to someone, he doesn't see himself as an independent person. And I think some time back he made an interview, I think one of his last interviews, he said for him he doesn't understand politics. His head is not yet grown to engage in politics. But now he's talking about Honorable Chagulanyi, who's a politician, you understand. I think he would have stayed out of politics for now because his head is not grown. He has not told us that he is grown now. He can comment about national issues. That is in my view. I don't mean that I know everything. I may be wrong.
But he also mentioned that, which I think he may be right, that Bobi Wine is bringing violence and he's misleading the youth. And we have seen that actually people are dying.
Now, you see, Mr. Bebe Cool, Sally, that is his name, Moses, is a grandfather, right? Today his son introduced his newborn baby. I think he's 4 months old, you understand. This is someone who should be thinking beyond his stay being a grandfather, it is something special from God. It means you've lived longer to even raise kids that can have other kids. You understand? Normally, someone in Africa, and currently, if you become a grandfather, you're clocking 50 plus. You understand? So you should be more objective and more realistic and see, okay, now you stop even thinking about your son and daughters. You start thinking the environment where your grandkids are going to be raised. I guess there is missing a big point. I think there is paid to think that way. But if it is objective and open to learn, I mean, if it disabuse himself from hating a person of Bobby Wine, right, he would be more sensible, he would sound more mature. But there we know Bobby Wine does not own a gun. Bobby Wine does not order any police officer to go and shoot people. He's not the commander-in-chief, because when people are dying in a country, the commander-in-chief, especially at hands of forces, security forces, we should look at the commander-in-chief, who is that person, and Bebe in this case will tell you is the support of the same person. So you know, in Uganda we have a saying that chiso chambuzi chirekerera omusi nechitunulira omubazi. So this is like a dead goat has been cut. It does not look at someone who has cut it, but rather someone who's removing the skin. Is like, I'm saying you've killed me. Is looking at the wrong person. He should be honest to himself. If it was him, I go back home and I look at myself in the mirror and I say the truth, and that's what I think he should do.
So are you insinuating that Bebe is being personal?
It's beyond personal. I think we should use another word, because actually I'm still trying to define him. What kind of person he is, his personality. Like, it's difficult to define. You get? He's a misled fella because of survival. I told you earlier that he's suffering from Stockholm syndrome. He is so used to bad situation of begging, of supporting, not of hunting for himself. You know, in the African culture we used to hunt. You get? So if he existed then, he would be among these, just the people who are cheering the hunters to hunt, but he would never go to hunt for himself, and he is okay.
He also mentioned that the campaigns are between him and Bobby Wine. Yet we have not seen him on maybe campaign trails or registered by the electoral board. So what do you think about that? Exactly.
There it sounded delusional, if I may. That is the word. He is delusional. He is stuck somewhere, and it feels like the Bobby Wine he used to be with, a guy who used to put on dreads like him, he is still seeing the same person, but Bobby is a changed person. You get? He's talking about national issues. When you listen to him and you disabuse yourself from hate, you will understand that Bobby Wine is just being critical and brave enough. But many Ugandans would wish to be like Bobby Wine today, because if you say that Bobby Wine is a smoker, is whatever, people will ask you, what does he smoke? What does he eat? So that we give it to our kids. And when they grow up to be like him, because some of them are older than him.
But according to Bebe Cool, somebody with a past like Bobby Wines, who used to smoke and do all those sort of things, should not be given a chance to even run for presidential seats.
Yeah, actually, that is the problem. It's not only him, but in Africa, why we have, you know, when you go to white man's land in Europe, Western world, you suffer from racism. But in Africa, we suffer from classism, whereby a certain section of the society is not given a chance to move from one point to another. Literally, people are like trees, they are like plants. They plant you somewhere and they say you forever you have to be in ghetto. So Bobby Wine is breaking chains, and that pieces it pieces people, like it makes them mad, it makes them envious. People who have the same mindset like Sally Moses, Bebe cool. You get, it is only people who think that way, that they are delusional. They don't believe in change, but trust me, once you refuse change, the change will force you to change. And I think people like him, whether today or tomorrow or the other day, they have to change, because there is change that is going on in a country called Uganda. Like it not.
Okay, let us move a bit now to the entertainment side. We saw just the other day where this Nigerian musician came to perform in Uganda, and the perception or the reception he got from the Ugandan musicians was not, that positive. It was actually negative.
I don't usually want to go to entertainment. You get, I'm not a person who's interested much in entertainment. I rather want to speak for the whole Uganda if I'm speaking a point. But I would dive into this because it goes back to Ugandan citizens, the artists, the people who make music. I love different people's music, you understand? And some of them have not been singing. For example, Bobby Wine, more than a year or two, he has not been performing. These same artists I've seen complaining and having threatening tweets and Facebook posts on their pages and being shared everywhere. They're saying, oh, how comes this person can't come? But people have been dying in Uganda. You understand? And people died when Georgie died in USA, Floyd. That was his name. Black Lives Matters. That knee came up to Uganda, and the people in entertainment, they posted it on their views, on their socials. But when these same killings come to Uganda, they are shot. So there is a double standard in the way they react to things. You cannot exclude yourself from a rotten society just because you're an artist. You get? They have to face the same wrath that other citizens do face. You get?
But don't
Recently,
you think they're right? I mean,
no, the thing is not being right or wrong for me. What I'm trying to say is, are they real to themselves? Why do you wait for you to be faced by injustice to talk? We are talking here. Guys, if you've not watched our other videos, we release videos every week, more than 3 times. So please subscribe to our channel, and so that you get videos like this more often. We talk about these things not because they affect us directly. So we do not wait, so that we create an army to fight for us when injustice comes to our side. I think it was Martin Luther King Jr. who taught us that injustice anywhere scares justice everywhere. You understand? You should not wait in injustice to come to your home to know that there is injustice. Other people have not been working. Why should they think that for them they should work? Other sectors are not working. You understand? So artists, we know they have a voice, but they have not used their voice in the right direction. Most of them. I'll exclude a few. You understand? So it is their right, in other words, if I may be lenient to them, it's their right to claim for their rights. You understand? Like working. Like, to be honest, they should be working. But they should not see themselves as special citizens. Because the people who support them, the people who supported Omalay, they are the same people who are supposed to support them. But the difference between with them and the Omalay, they are Ugandans. He is a Nigerian. When Nigeria was facing injustices from police, Nigerian artists came together and they protested against it, right? But these artists, even when there was a social media tax introduction, how many of them, I will exclude, I think I saw Apus, Alexander, and Bobby Wine, and the Nubian League, and a few others that went against this. Others were making comments like, no, if Bobby Wine is not singing, let him, he's the one who attacked politics, you understand? Now, it is not that each and every one of them who cannot perform in their home country is contesting for presidency. You get? This was injustice on Bobby Wine, and is injustice on them. But also I will leave a quote for them, to Ugandans. Sometime, I think this one is coming from Malcolm X. He reminded us that sometimes we should not judge people just because they don't think like we do think. Because there was a time when we do not think like we think today. That makes sense. Maybe we give them a second chance. I've seen quite a number of posts when they are saying, okay, we're joining Bobby Wine. Okay, now they are waking up. That is good. And also, for us who wish Uganda better, who want to see a new Uganda, we say hallelujah, we sing hallelujah. That's what we sing, because people's eyes are opening, and this is exactly what we wanted. So it is hallelujah time. Now, my final word. We're living in a very trying time. As artists are crying, I know some of them are mothers, some of them are fathers, so they have families to feed. And the music, it is the only thing they have to feed those families. I understand that a good number of them are not educated even to look for jobs, other jobs. All they feed on is their talents, and they feed other families through different entities. The woman that sells chapati, a man that roasts chicken when these concerts are going on. The only thing I want to condemn the government before I finalize is, if a government cannot take her citizens care of, we see many governments in developed countries make sure that every citizen has the basic needs. Your citizens do not work, and you make sure they do not work, but you provide an environment that another person from somewhere else can come and work. That is ludicrous. That's why every Ugandan citizen, a sane citizen, it is your obligation to fight such a government. You should not be apologetic. You should not beg anyone, because that is a government that wants you to stay poor. I'm sure your kids are not going to school, just like mine, if they were in Uganda. So you should reflect, and that is another generation that this government that has been in power for 34 years is affecting. And you want to sit down and say, okay, it will be okay. In the same situation, you really have a problem. So, going back to the final word, the times we're in are very trying times. Especially in times of like this is when wars are manifested is. In times like this, genocides are manifested and things like that. So we should be very careful, and we should learn to live as citizens and togetherness. It is the only way we can go to the next step of running out from a dictatorship design that we have, that it pretends to be a democracy, that that will say if someone held their rally or for more than 200 people, it is immoral, but then they provide the environment for another person to come and perform, to tell people things, lo 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 lo, I like that song of Omale, but they cannot provide the environment for another person who say things like this: we are fighting for freedom, don't change the constitution, we need a market for our sugar canes, we need no nepotism, we need no corruption, and things like that. There is no environment for that such a person, but there is environment for the other person. We must be realistic to ourselves. I sign out and I remain JK here at JK Series. Thank you so much for watching me. Hey guys, if you've managed to come to this end, this far in this video, make sure you subscribe. I think this is a subscription button, and then also we have a share button somewhere down. Plus, thank you so much, and please help our brother to subscribe to this channel. Okay, thank you so much.